Why the hell do you or anybody care who the hell I spend my time with? That's the problem with y'all people. Y'all worried about who people spend their time with. Whatever I'm doing in my bedroom is my damn business.
So former NBA center and 2020 NBA champion Dwight Howard, if you ask Shaq, he might have something to say about that. So he found himself in the headlines now. Here's why. A couple of names you're going to have to remember. One is Stephen Harper, obviously Dwight Howard, and then the last one is Kitty, Kitty. Now anyone that knows anything about Dwight Howard knows that he's no longer in the NBA. He was playing in China for some time. And if you've ever seen his games, then you know that there's at least something left in the tank. It's funny that Stephen A. Smith said something when he was speaking about this that a lot of people were already thinking.
Let me tell you what came to my mind when I thought about this. That's why teams didn't want him.
That there has to be something more as to why Dwight, and this is just speculation, but there has to be something more as to why Dwight Howard specifically is not currently in the NBA. He's certainly just as talented as any other bigger guys that we have here, and he takes care of himself. But some details have since been released about Dwight Howard, Stephen Harper, and this individual by the name of Kitty about a lawsuit that's emerging from Stephen Harper that he's filing against Dwight for sexual assault. So Dwight is accused of assaulting another man. Stephen Harper put out the claim that the two of them met on social media, and where they allegedly sent explicit photos, they sent explicit text messages back and forth, and then at some point they made the agreement from photos and texting to where they're now going to meet in person in order for them to do the do. Now, according to these reports, the two of them had agreed to meet at Dwight's Georgia residence on July 19th, 2021, so this is some time ago. Harper also made the claim that Dwight wanted to have sex with him and another man who was dressed up as a woman named Kitty. This is where Kitty now gets involved. So hear this. This person, Harper, says that he became uncomfortable with the proposition and that he wanted nothing to do with it at all. But Dwight's response was that he was going to do whatever it is that he wanted to and that Harper was going to like it. And based off of the messages and the pictures that were being sent, this is where Dwight is now building the case that the sex between the two of them was all consensual. Harper claims that Dwight had told him that he was into, quote-unquote, all kinds of freaky sexual stuff. And he also claims that when the two of them met, the only thing that he technically consented to was just the kissing. They removed a few articles of clothing, and this is when Kitty appeared, a man dressed as a woman. Stephen Harper also made it known that when Kitty came into the room, Kitty began to perform oral sex on Dwight.
I just want y'all to know that it's real competitive around here. It's All-Star Weekend, East versus West, and we trying to win.
This is where Stephen became uncomfortable and said that he did not want to participate, and he tried to tell Dwight that he didn't want to, but Dwight was just touching his leg and touching his thighs, among other places, obviously. It's also alleged that he told him to stop. And if you know anything about Dwight, if Dwight stands over you, he's a tall guy with 1% body fat. And apparently he had his way with Harper because from what this report says, he took everything off of this guy and then went down on him, all while he was being pinned down by Dwight. At some point though, Dwight took a hint when he looked at Stephen Harper and saw that he wasn't actually enjoying what he was doing, so he stopped. But according to the lawsuit, he didn't stop very long because then Dwight turned to Kitty and the two of them started doing whatever they were doing in the bed. Use your imagination, or don't. So this lawsuit, what it includes is assault, battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and false imprisonment. Now, just in case anyone is saying that this is all just hearsay, Dwight has confessed to this, but what he's saying is that all of it was consensual. So there was no taking anything by force, there was no forcing him on top of anyone else, there was no forcing anyone to come to his place, and there was no forcing him to perform any act that he didn't want to. Everything he's saying was all consensual, and that the three of them had made agreements that they were going to meet, and that they were going to come to his house in Georgia, and that they were going to do whatever it is that they were going to do. Whether it be, touching, kissing, holding hands, and taking things further and escalating it from there. They were all aware of each other, and from there, they made their agreement on what would happen that day. This runs counter to what is being claimed by Stephen Harper, on the other hand, where Stephen Harper, I believe, was under the impression that he was just going there to be with Dwight, but was railroaded by this prospect that he was not aware of. It's kind of crazy because he worked out for the Golden State Warriors a little while ago in order for him to potentially have a chance at coming back to the NBA. And during that workout, you got to take into consideration that while a team is considering you as a prospect, one thing that they'll do is they'll check your history. They'll check your background. I don't even have to be in the NBA to know that. I've already heard enough players say that they will check everything about you to make sure that you are spot on and clean and that you come trouble-free and hassle-free. Because the last thing that they want is drama or unnecessary headlines with your name in it. So somewhere down the pipeline, someone probably saw this already. If it happened in 2021, then you know it's already floating around, which might explain why Dwight might be doing the touching in the bedroom, but no NBA team is willing to touch him. I didn't know about any of this. So what is it that you guys think happened? You have two stories running completely contrary to one another. So who do you think is lying? Because both of them can't be telling the truth. There's some details that are overlapping where clearly it's the truth. There were some parts that were consensual, but according to one report, all of it was consensual. This is Dwight's side. And then on Stephen Harper's side, only this part was consensual, and then Dwight took advantage, and then this is where the assault happened. Who do you believe? That's all I got for now, guys. Leave your comments in the comment section. Don't forget to drop a like, and I will see you guys again for the next one. Be easy, y'all.
And I asked him, like, does your family know that you, like, date, you know, transgenders and, you know, gay men? You know, it was just something that I wanted to know.